Hey guys, welcome back for another video. It's that time for some NFL picks and predictions. The playoffs have arrived last week. We had 6 wildcard matchups. We're now moving on to the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. We have 4 games coming up this weekend. We have 2 Saturday games, 2 Sunday games. We have some stacked matchups. Whoever wins these games, it is do or die. Winner moving on, the loser going home. We're going to break the games down, predict the outcome, the winner, loser, final score. We're also going to take a look at the bets for the game, the money line, the spread, the over-unders. First things first, though, guys, help me out. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment down below. Who do you think is going to win these games? And let me know what's your final score prediction. Drop it in the comment section, and I'm going to make sure that I respond to every single comment. If you want to sign up for one of our member teams, check out that pinned comment down below. So it's all going down this weekend. We had a very good wild card series this past weekend. Saturday games, Sunday games, the Monday game. Overall, of those 6 games, we actually went 5-1 on our predictions. That's pretty good odds. I would take those odds any day. That's like 85%. Can't complain about that. We didn't go perfect, though. We want to go perfect every single weekend. Let's try to keep that momentum going into this week. We have the Broncos versus the Bills. Patriots, Texans, that's the AFC side. On the NFC side, Seahawks versus the 49ers, the Bears versus the Rams. There were some surprises this past weekend. There were some games that went according to plan. The number 1 seeds got the bye week. Does the bye week help them? Are they rusty coming off the bye? That's the unknown. And the teams that finished hot last week, how long can they keep that momentum going? We're going to break it all down. Like I said, guys, like and subscribe. And let's jump right into our first game. Our very first game is one of the best ones coming up this weekend. It's going to be on the AF side, divisional side, this coming Saturday, January 17th. Again, some Saturday games, 4:30 p.m. This is the first game of the second round. CBS, the 12-5 Buffalo Bills. First things first, we got to give the Bills some credit. They went on the road to Jacksonville, number 1 rush defense, top 10 overall defense. They beat the Jags in Jacksonville. Very tough situation. The fans were rabid. Jacksonville, one of the best teams in the NFL this season with Super Bowl aspirations. They beat them at their home. Bills were the favorite when the week started. As the week went along, the Jags became the favorites. A lot of people riding Jacksonville. We did pick the Bills to pull off the upset on the road. They did indeed do that, and we almost hit the score on the head. Bills won 27-24. We had them winning 28-24 at just 1 point off from hitting it perfectly. They're going up against one of the best teams here, though. One of the number 1 seeds, the 14-3 Denver Broncos. How about the Broncos this season? They're going to Denver to play them. It's going to be a really tough place to play again on the road. It's going to be cold. Bills are used to the cold. There's going to be no surprises there, but this is Sean Payton. This is a veteran coaching staff. Young quarterback, Bo Nix, but Bo Nix last year around week 7 or 8 turned things around, starting getting hot all the way through the second half of the season. The short, intermittent dink and dunk passing game, he was working those perfectly. Sean Payton knows how to play to his quarterback strengths. They were doing that. Add in the fact that he's a dual threat quarterback. He wants to beat you with his arm, but he will take off, he will scramble. But the reason the Bills won on the road, there was one person, Josh Allen. Josh Allen, basically by himself, the Jags with the number 1 rush defense shut down Cook. He was doing everything he could. He put the team on his back, led them to victory. Can he do that again on the road versus the 14 and the Denver Broncos? When you're looking at this matchup, this is a really tough game here. The Broncos, 51.7% chance to win. The Bills, 48.7%. With the fan vote, it's practically a 50-50 split down the middle. This game could honestly go either way. Flip a coin. You can make a very strong, valid case for either one of these teams to walk away with the win. Buffalo's 1.5 point favorites, 46.5 over under. The Bills, again, to start the week, they're the favorite. As the week goes along and those spreads, those lines change. Are they able to hold their position? But it's one of those games, like I said, this is a very tough game to call. The Bills do not have the edge on defense. They have the edge on offense. Denver has the edge on defense with a very capable offense. So basically, which one of these teams is going to be able to come out on top, be able to play to the strengths overall? When you're looking at this Buffalo offense, obviously it's Josh Allen. He's the reigning MVP award winner. This guy can do a little bit of everything. Probably the most physically gifted quarterback in the NFL. What I mean by that, he can run the ball. Really banged up last week. Hurt his hand, hurt his leg, hurt his ankle, hurt his shoulder, and still he was running the ball physical, 3rd and 1, short yardage situations facing the number 1 rush defense. They took Cook out of the game. The Bills were still able to run situationally when they need to because of Josh Allen running out of the quarterback position, tush push, quarterback sneaking, and now you're playing a Denver team, very talented front seven, not as good against the run as the Jags were. So if they can open up Cook, that's going to open up the play action for Josh Allen. That makes him even deadlier. Where the Bills have their biggest weakness, in my personal opinion, is the receiving core. They don't have a true number 1 wide receiver. Very talented overall receiving core. What I mean by that is they all do their job. That's really all that you can ask of them. But there's not a true number 1 deep threat. You have Shakur. The guy's making massive yardage after the catch. You brought in Cooks. That's a massive upgrade. The guy's a veteran wide receiver. You lost Gabe Davis, though. That's a massive loss. He's another veteran guy. So overall, this wide receiver core, they're going to have to continue to play as a unit. He will give you the ball in space. Just make the short yardage plays, make the 3rd and long situations, and let Josh Allen work the magic. Josh Allen, 3,700 yards, 25 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. It's also what he can do with his legs and the power run game. Very hard guy to bring down. Cook, almost 1,700 yards on the ground, 12 rushing touchdowns. But you got to look at the Broncos. The Broncos overall with Bo Nix, just like last season, getting better as the season goes along. He finished with almost 4,000 passing yards, 25 touchdowns, 11 picks. He has the speed ground game. He gets outside the pocket. If you flush him out, he can take off. The Bills don't have the best rush defense by any means. It's actually one of the worst. There will be opportunities for the Broncos to consistently move the ball on the ground, which is going to open up deep play action for Sutton with almost 1,100 yards to the air. When you're looking at the overall team stats here, that's where this game really takes off. The Bills, one of the best offenses in the NFL, top 5 overall offense, 28.3 points a game, throwing for 216.6, running for 159.8. That is the number 1 rush offense in the NFL. Jags had the number 1 rush defense. Bills had the number 1 rush defense. Josh Allen was the X factor. He's what made the difference. But they're bringing that number 1 rushing attack on the road here, and they're giving up 21.5 points a game. They do have one of the best secondaries out there, 156.9 given up through the air. They do shut down the pass, but they make up for it because they have one of the worst rush defenses, giving up 138.2 on the ground. You can run on Buffalo. Sean Payton, smart guy. Dink and dunk passes, keep it a short yardage game, eat the Bills alive within the line of scrimmage. And when you're looking at Denver, 23.6 points a game, throwing for 223.9, running for 118.7, giving up 18.3 points a game. That's a top 5 overall defense in the NFL. They gave up 187.2 through the air, 91.1 on the ground. That's not number 1, but it is top 3 in the NFL, just like against the Jags. The Bills did struggle to run. Can Denver replicate that? And if they're able to do so, is the immense talent of Josh Allen enough to make up the difference and still get a win for the Buffalo Bills? Tough game to call. Such a tough game to pick a winner, because I can see how both teams can walk away with the win, but only one's going to be able to move on in the next round. It's a tough one, but I'm going to do it, guys. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to go with the Bills getting the win on the road. Give me Buffalo walking away here, 27-21. Fun game. And moving on to our second and final Saturday game, that night, January 17th, 8 p.m. on Fox, the 12-5 San Francisco 49ers. Got to give the 49ers a shout out. They pulled up a massive upset versus the Eagles. The Eagles, the defending Super Bowl champs, they beat them at their own game. They took the ground game away. They forced the Eagles, Jalen Hurts, in the 3rd and long situations. They could not beat them vertically passing the ball down the field. That gave the 49ers the upset. Salah's defense stepped up massively, shut down that Eagles offense with all those weapons they had. Hurts, Barkley, Smith, Brown. They could not consistently, reliably move the ball down the field. This 49ers offense, one of the best offenses in the NFL, one of the best passing teams in the NFL this season. How about Brock Purdy? How about the 49ers overall? The amount of injuries they've had this season. Basically, everybody on this roster on the offensive side has been injured at some point this season. There's been one reliable person the entire year. Christian McCaffrey, the guy who is always hurt, who's banged up every single season, who every single year has to miss games. He played every single game this year. He put the team on his back. He had over 1,200 yards receiving, 1,200 yards rushing, almost 1,000 yards receiving, almost 1,000 a year. In my mind, he's a MVP caliber candidate because this team 12-5, and they beat the champs in the playoffs. It's great stuff, and that solid defense stepped up massively. Their defense has had holes the entire year, did not have holes last week. The big question, can they now keep that momentum going versus the NFC number one seed, the 14-3 Seattle Seahawks? New coaching staff. This Seahawks, what a surprise team this season. They came out of nowhere, had to move around a lot of pieces. Sam Darnold steps in, a lot of turnovers, but he's a gunslinger. He's been pushing the ball down the field. Jackson Smith-Njigba, massive weapon, one of the best receivers in the NFL. Deep running back room, Charbonnet. They can run multiple different formations out of different sets. They do a little bit of everything. They run, they throw, and they come in here with one of the best defenses in the NFL. Fun team to watch, but can they now beat a very hot 49ers offense? The big thing for the 49ers, speaking of injuries, Kittle's out. Kittle's out for the year. Now, that's a massive loss. Veteran tight end, one of the best shorthanded tight ends in the NFL. A tight end is a security blanket for the quarterback because when you're under pressure, they're always pretty close by to dump the ball off to. That guy's gone now. So if they're going to win this game, it's going to be Christian McCaffrey, who, again, just like he's done the entire season, he's going to have to carry this team over the line. Jennings is going to have a good game. Brock Purdy overall in the playoffs, 5-2 career record. Didn't play the whole season, a lot of injuries, but he's been playing some pretty good football since he's been on the field. Let's take a look at the team stats. Brock Purdy, 2,200 yards. He had 20 touchdowns, 10 picks, a lot of turnovers, a lot of touchdowns, though. He was a gunslinger this season. He was not the reason why they lost any games. He's not any longer a game manager. Coming in the form, getting aggressive, pushing the ball down the field. McCaffrey, over 1,200 rushing, 10 rushing touchdowns, 924 receiving yards, 7 receiving touchdowns. The guy's an X factor. He does a little bit of everything. You have to account for him in your game plan no matter what. But thankfully for Seattle, they have one of the best overall defenses in the NFL. Sam Darnold coming over here, almost 4,100 yards, 25 touchdowns, 14 picks. It's the interceptions that scare me. Yes, Seattle has beaten the 49ers this season. I don't like the 14 interceptions with a really good offense, with a really good rushing attack, because sometimes the pressure wasn't there on him. He has a very good team and still forcing the ball into very questionable situations. You have Walker. Charbonnet might be the best 1-2 running back combo. If it's not the Lions, it's definitely probably the Seattle Seahawks. Jackson Smith-Njigba, 1,793 receiving yards, 119 receptions, 10 receiving touchdowns. This guy's one of the best, might be the best one this season. Looking at the team standings, Seattle, 58.8% chance to win this game. The 49ers, 41.2%. The fans are leaving Seattle. They're the better rounded team. When it comes to offense, these teams are pretty even, but I hate not having Kittle on the team, that veteran experience. It's a massive loss. Seattle's 7.5-point favorites. That's a pretty large spread for an NFL playoff game. 45.5 over-under. 49ers, 25.7 points a game, throwing for 244.5. That's a top 5 passing attack in the NFL. Running for 106.9. That's not bad, but I've been saying the entire year, I want to see them run the ball just a little bit more. Take that pressure off Purdy, a quarterback's best friend. Tight end helps, but it's always going to be a ground game. Takes the pressure off you, opens up the field, opens up the play action, opens up a different form of being aggressive. They're giving up 232.4 through the air. Questionable secondary. They do give up a lot of pass yards, so look for Sam Darnold to be extremely aggressive in this game, forcing the ball down the field. That can help Seattle. That can hurt Seattle. Just what version of Darnold shows up. And they're giving 107.8 on the ground. Seahawks, such a balanced team. 28.4 points a game. Throwing for 228.1. Running for 123.3. They can throw. They can run. They're giving up 17.2 points a game. That's up there with the Texans. Top 2 overall defense in the NFL. 193.9 through the air. 91.9 on the ground. Top 4 rush defense. They're going to try to take McCaffrey away, shut down the line of scrimmage football, own the line of scrimmage, own the trenches, force it on to Purdy. Purdy's been having a very good season so far when he's been healthy, but you all know what Purdy's shown in the past. Pasts not always dictate the future, but you want to remember it because it has happened before. Purdy sometimes, in the largest moments, He becomes a game manager and he starts having some turnover issues. Can Seattle force him into that with that aggressive front seven? Fun game to look at here because the 49ers, they're already upset minded. They know they can pull off the upset. Seattle being that number one seed, having the bye week, does the bye week sometimes set teams back? Sometimes it does. Sometimes they needed that rest. But when we're picking the outcome here, give me the Seattle Seahawks locking down the win at home. But the 49ers, they make a tough game of it. They put up a fight, but the Seahawks win this one 24-20. And now moving back over to the AFC and moving over to our Sunday games, ESPN 3 p.m., our AFC round, the 12-5 Houston Texans. What a dominating performance for Houston, just completely clobbering, blowing the back out of the Pittsburgh Steelers. All those veterans on this team, this Texans defense, it is for real. Statistically, it's been the number one defense for the majority of the season. They get after it. Really good secondary, extremely good front seven, one of the best sacking teams in the NFL, one of the best turnover ratio teams. They create havoc in the backfield. Pressure on quarterbacks, creates errant throws, could potentially lead to turnovers, but they're going up against a team that's very similar to them. The only difference is they have a defense that's almost just as good, but their offense is better. That's the 14-3 New England Patriots. The Patriots, this team's been good for almost 3 decades. Yeah, they went through a couple years where they kind of fell off, but now they're back on top. But are they really back on top? We know what the bar is for Patriots. That's that Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, nonstop Super Bowl appearances, nonstop Super Bowl victories. Now you have Vrabel, Bill Belichick disciple, Drake May stepping in. This looked like a Tom Brady type season so far this season. I'm not saying Drake May's Tom Brady. Did not say that. But you Patriots fans, you have to feel very encouraged on what the future looks like. Hard-nosed, tough, disciplined, Bill Belichick type coach, physical line of scrimmage football team. That's what wins Super Bowls. And you got the good young quarterback again. Looks like things are starting all over. This Patriots team, they come in here, a lot of accolades, really good defense, but can Houston's defensive front seven create enough havoc in the backfield to get to the young Drake May? This guy's a very young quarterback. If you can pressure him, you have a chance where you can really potentially get some good field position, short yardage game, keep the field small, play a time of possession, field position football team, and maybe you can pull off the upset on the road. That would be massive. Right now, the Texans, 47.9% chance to win. The Patriots, 52.1%. Pretty close to being a 50-50. That's because it's a defensive game. Whenever you have one score, one possession defensive game, sometimes it just comes down to whoever has the ball last could kick a field goal and win this game. The Pats at home, 3-point favorites, a 41 over-under. Vegas sees a very low-scoring game here. When you're looking at the team stats, C.J. Stroud did not play the whole season, but overall, not his 2023 season. 2023, very good first year. 2024, not the best. He was up and down this season, but I would say the second half of the season, when he was on the field, when he was healthy, he actually put up some pretty decent passing numbers. 3,100 yards, 19 touchdowns, 8 picks. You got Marks just over 700 yards rushing. Nico Collins got hurt last week, missed the second half. That would be a huge loss if he can't go. He's a true wide receiver, number one. When he's on the field healthy, one of the best receivers in the NFL. If they don't have him, that puts Stroud in a very difficult situation. He's a young quarterback on the road going up against a very aggressive front seven. He needs his go-to guy. 3rd and long situations, he can throw the ball up to him. If Collins isn't there, well, look for that spread to potentially change once those variables are known. That's a little bit of the unknown right now. Looking at the Pats, Drake May, 4,400 yards. He'll also take off and run. He had 31 touchdowns, 8 picks. He's a MVP candidate right now. Not saying that he's going to win, but he is an MVP candidate. Henderson just shy of 1,000 yards. Stephon Diggs, the veteran Stephon Diggs, still putting up really good numbers. He had just under 1,100 yards, 85 receptions, 4 touchdowns. Looking at the team stats, Houston comes in 23.8 points a game. Not a bad offense by any means. Throwing for 218.1, running for 108.9, but it's the defense. Number 2 statistically in the NFL, giving up 17.4 points a game. And they're not just good at any one thing. They're good at both sides on the defense. They have a great secondary. They have a great front seven. They're only giving up 183.5 through the air, one of the best, and 93.7 on the ground. Top 5 secondary, Top 5 rush defense. That's as well-rounded of a defense as it gets. The Patriots are going to have to out-scheme the Texans, find the weakness. Good luck finding it, but there's a weakness on every single team. Can you find it, and can you exploit it? The Pats, 28.8 points a game, top 5 overall offense, throwing for 250.5. That's a top 3 passing attack going up against one of the secondary. Strength on strength, only one's going to be able to come out on top. They're running for 128.9. That's a very balanced team, but again, they're going up against a team that can shut down both those aspects. But if you shut down the run, sometimes they leave those safeties back there. So at some point, how you attack the team, whether you bring the safeties in, whether you force them back, the Patriots have to find how they can play with that defense. It's going to be a chess match. They're only giving up 18.8 points. Again, that's top 5. They give up 193.5 through the air, 101.7 on the ground. They're not the best at either one of those things, but it's a very complete defense. It's still a top 5 defense. It's just Houston. They've been number 1 for pretty much the whole season. They are number 2. The only thing that separates them from being number 1 is 0.2 points per game. These are 2 very talented teams. This is going to be a physical matchup. Just like a lot of these games, sometimes it's just going to come down to something as simple as the line of scrimmage. Who's going to control the trenches? That's who's going to walk away with the win. Houston pulling off the massive win last week. We had them beating the Steelers, so there was no surprises there. It's just they completely dominated Rodgers, Tomlin. They might have forced Rodgers into retirement. They definitely forced Tomlin out of Pittsburgh, but I don't have it happening here, guys. Not the highest scoring game, but I got to go with the home team here. Got to go with the Pats. They're just good at so many different things. They can beat you so many different ways with their offense and with their defense. Give me New England. They win it 23-20. And back over to the NFC for our final game of round 1, Sunday, January 18th, 6:30 p.m. on NBC. This is a tough game because expect the unexpected in this matchup. It's one team, might be the best team in the NFL. They've just been lacking consistency for, the last 3 to 4 weeks, going up against one of the hottest teams in the NFL. Whenever you count them out, they always seem to pull off so many upsets. We have the 12-5 LA Rams. I've been saying it for months now. In my personal opinion, I did think they were the most complete roster in the NFL talent-wise. Their talent level, their ceiling is so high, but sometimes, let's just call it like it is, they show up and they play like crap. So they show what their floor is, they've showed what their ceiling is, and there's all that space in between. Where do they show up this coming Sunday? They can come out and they can blow the doors off someone. They can come out and they can lay a massive egg, but they are one of the biggest favorites for the Super Bowl. They're going up against the 11-6 Chicago Bears. How about Johnson taking over this team? Completely changed this team from where they were last year. They were in the dumpster last season. Caleb Williams did not look comfortable in the pocket. Some people calling him a bust. He showed flashes, but he also showed some weak spots. Looks like a completely different quarterback. He has command of the offense. The amount of come-from-behind victories they've had just this year, it's incredible. How about last week versus the Packers? We picked the Bears to beat the Packers. So again, no surprise there. But they were down a lot. They were down so much, I was like, well, I guess I called that game wrong. And then boom, they scored a buttload a second. They completely controlled third quarter, especially the fourth quarter. Caleb Williams, the last 5 minutes of that game, multiple touchdowns. They took the lead. They closed it out. Their defense stepped up. Their offense stepped up. They won it. So we called it right, but that's what the Bears do. They make a fun game out of it. The game looks out of reach, and they come storming back to win this one. So do not count the Bears out in this game because they're always ready to get into a shootout with anyone in the NFL. Their defense has some holes, but their offense can definitely make up for it. Chicago, 38% chance to win. The Rams, 62% chance. So this is one of those games the fans are all leaning towards LA, but you never want to count the Bears out. Consider yourself warned. We've seen it so many times this season. Don't get caught thinking like so many in the past have. LA, 3.5-point favorites, 49 over-under. To me, when I look at this game, this is one of those games. It has shootout potentially written all over it. Stafford did get hurt last week. Right now, they're technically listing him as questionable. I don't like to hear that. He is my pick for MVP this season. I don't have a vote, but if I did, he'd be my pick. He's had a lot of really good years throughout his career. This could be his last year, could not be his last year, but I think this is his most efficient season of his long, storied career. Over 4,700 passing yards, 46 touchdowns to only 8 interceptions, but they only have a chance to win this game if Stafford shows up. and starts the game under center. Williams, almost 1,300 rushing yards, 10 rushing touchdowns. He can also catch the ball coming out the backfield. He's a massive weapon. Nakua, he's the X factor. He does everything. Slot, deep. Sometimes they hand the ball off to him. Anything that you could possibly ask, he's the guy you just force feed your playmakers the ball in space. He's going to make something happen. He's going to make guys miss. Devontae Adams, now that he's fully healthy, you just need Stafford there. Stafford's going to make sure to distribute the balls to playmakers. He has one of the best arms in the NFL. He'll push the ball vertically down the field. He'll work the dink and dunk. He'll work the underpasses. He'll do anything, and this team can run the ball, and they play really good defense on top of it. Looking at the Bears, Caleb Williams, what an improvement over last season. So much more comfortable in this offensive scheme in the pocket. 4,000 yards, 27 touchdowns, only 7 interceptions, and he will take off and scramble for first downs. Swift, 1,100 yards rushing. They have Loveland. They have Moore. They have the weapons. They can run. They can throw. They have the underneath. They have the deep passes. A very well-rounded, very explosive offense. Where their weakness is on the defense. They don't have a bad defense. It's just not a good defense. Looking at these team stats on here, the Rams come in 30.5 points per game. That's not number 3. That's not number 2. That's the number 1 offense in the NFL. But again, that's with a healthy Stafford under center. They're throwing for 268.1, the number 1 passing team in the NFL. But just because they pass doesn't mean they forget about the run. They're really good running the ball. They're running for 126.6, giving up 20.4 points per game, 216.7 through the air, 110.8 on the ground. The Bears, they can score. They can go blow for blow with people, 25.9 points a game, throwing for 225.1, running for 144.5. Pretty sure that's number 2 in the NFL. Oh, well, no, number 3 in the NFL. The Bills are number 1. This team can run. They can throw. They're an explosive team. They're going to test this Rams defense. This Rams defense is not bad, but you have to guard them in multiple ways. You have to guard them at the line of scrimmage. You have to guard them down the field. This is going to be one of those chess match matchups. They're giving up 24.4 points per game. It's not the worst, but it's not the best. They give up 227.2 through the air. They do give up some pass yards. Stafford, he's licking his chops looking at that. He wants to beat you. He wants the 50-yard bomb. Just let Nakua be open. He'll find him. He'll hit him. And they're giving up 134.5 to the ground. So again, Stafford's not going to run. He's not a threat to scramble, but you got Williams there. That's what makes the Rams offense so deadly. They can throw it even better. They can run it. They can beat you multiple ways. And they have the veteran at quarterback. If it comes down to one final drive, the young stud, Caleb Williams, he's shown he can come from behind. He can win this game. But if I was betting on one person in this game to win it on one final possession, one possession game, fourth quarter, final drive, you got to know that I'm going to go with Stafford. The guy's been around forever. He's shown us what he's capable of. You know what he's capable of week in and week out, especially in the playoffs. And I already told you guys which way that I'm leaning. This should not come as any surprise. I'm going with the veteran. I'm going with the experience. I'm going, in my personal opinion, with the MVP for the 2025 regular season. Give me Stafford. Give me the Rams to win this one, 28-23. So, guys, that's it. That's our picks, our predictions for our 4 divisional round 2 playoff games we have coming up for the NFL season. It's some top-notch matchups. There's some games where you think you might know who's going to win it. It's the playoffs. These are our final 8 teams. Anything can happen. Expect the unexpected. Don't be surprised by anything. Make sure to do a ton of research on these games. Be confident in whatever you pick, guys. No matter what, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment down below. Tell me who you think is going to win this game. Tell me what you think the final scores are going to be. Leave it in the comment section. I'm going to make sure that I respond to every single comment. If you want to sign up for one of our member teams, check out the pinned comment down below. And as always, guys, thank you for watching.